Today I'm going to be ranking my favorite Soulmask mounts in the game, starting from S tier all the way down to D tier today. So let's get into it. First of all, we're going to start with the Alpaca. You can get them in this tea flavored color, or you can get them in the white color. They are a really sturdy starter mount, and they have some decent stats in them. Not only do they have pretty decent weight, sitting at about 600, although this can alter in quality. It can also go down to about 500 depending on how good the Alpaca you have is. Either way, they can hold a good amount of weight. They eat corn, so they're really easy to feed. They can also eat pumpkin and stuff like that. And they're a pretty decent speed as well. They are not bad for a first mount in Soulmask, and will get you pretty much anywhere you need to be. Looking at their stats, if they fall down something, they get minus 20% fall damage. However, this has not felt very much, as if you do drop your Alpaca off a cliff, it will take a ton of damage, like any mount that has not a big amount of full damage reduction on them. They have decent HP though, and decent stamina, but they are your bottom tier mounts for the entire game. They cannot withstand any radiation or anything like that, so it might get a bit spicy if you try and take them in harder level areas. However, I think this creature is a really solid start, which leads me to put this in a solid B tier, because it's just really useful and easy to get early on, and you can't really go wrong on one of these. They will carry you for a very long duration in the game. Next up, we have the Llama. They are the same speed as an Alpaca, however, they can do a lot of useful things, and they can carry a lot more, as well as they have about double the stamina as an Alpaca, which is why most people mistaken this mount to be a bit faster than the Alpaca, but they both have about 100 movement speed each, meaning they don't. They also take a reduced fall damage of minus 20%, which means you can't really throw them off cliffs very well, as they will go splat very easily. Their weight is really good though, insane compared to the Alpaca. This one I have right here has 1,304, which you're never really going to fill up like ever unless you go farming all day. My point is though, you can carry a lot and they last really long. Not only that, they have a couple of saddle attachments. You can have the wicker basket, which holds baby animals in it, such as llamas, alpacas, it could be baby big cats, it could be anything, and it allows you to carry 4 at a time in these baskets, which means you can carry a lot safely home rather than leading them home in your arms and getting attacked on the way. It also has a really handy seat cushion extension, which allows you to put unconscious NPCs onto the back of the llama so you can transport them home with ease or to a place that you need them to be. Meaning this thing is insane compared to any of the other Soulmask creatures out there, if I'm gonna be honest with you. With all that being said, this one absolutely has to go in S tier, because it is the most useful and well customizable animal out there compared to all of them. It is the only one with extra seat cushions and baskets. The other ones do not have abilities like this. So yes, it is definitely a very, very strong mount to contend with. Our next mount we're ranking definitely has to be the Jaguar, and this thing is super cool. You can find it around the jungle in the early on, which can make it a really good mount to pick up and find. They have a very interesting taming technique, but the best thing about them tends to be their speed. They are the fastest creature in the game. They outspeed the Ostrich by miles. They go a ton faster. I have raced them, and there's just no shot. This creature goes the fastest out of all the mounts in the game, but it is the same speed as one of our contenders later on, but we'll talk about that when we get to that ranking. But if you want to get anywhere quick, this is the mount to do the job for sure. Looking at their statistics, they take minus 24 damage as well, the same as the Alpaca and the Llama. They do have a decent amount of HP. Their stamina is about the same as an Alpaca, however they have that fast movement speed, as you can see 103.68% on this one. But their load is about the same as an Alpaca as well, if not a little lower. So yeah, the thing you definitely want this for is speed. They do not attack, they do not fight. However, they do have some abilities that allow you to like jump up on things and easily get around, which leaves me to put this creature in C tier, honestly, because it's good, it's fast, but I don't think it's anything to write home about. So yeah, you're pretty much using this as a speed mount. Next creature we're looking at definitely has to be the Ostrich. I must admit, I'm very excited when I got the Ostrich. It has a very interesting taming method, although a bit of a pain to bring back to base, or you have to keep the egg safe out in the wilds. However, this mount, once you are able to get it, it is a really solid mount. Now its HP is nothing to write home about. It has an average amount of weight, however this can do a few metal and coal runs. The beauty with these things though is definitely its anti-radiation ability, meaning it is a wonderful desert mount. And it is immune to fall damage. It has minus 95%. Now this might not sound like a lot, but this is absolutely insane in Soulmask. You can throw it off any cliff you like and it will pretty much be alive. Have a look on the map here, have a look over here. You know this area is a massive canyon. I have dropped an ostrich from the top of here to the bottom of this canyon on land and it has been fine. It's lost like a tiny amount of HP, but it has been fine. Meaning it is absolutely wonderful to traverse everywhere. It is also pretty fast of a mount as well, meaning it's well rounded that way, which is quite nice. So it has a bit more weight than a Jaguar, but it's not as fast as a Jaguar, but it's decent, you know what I mean? It has 102.079% movement speed, meaning it's only a little slower than Jaguar, although it does absolutely get smoked in a race. Apart from being a bit of a pain in the butt to tame, I definitely really like the Ostrich, and they can do a lot when it comes to running, and the fall damage is something that's just so valuable. If you've never used one, I can't explain it, but like if you have used one, then you'll get what I mean. Being able to throw them off anything in this game when the terrain is so high and low in places is very, very valuable. So I gotta say, these have to go in like a solid A tier for me. I really like them. They are nearly hitting S tier, I'll be honest with you, but yeah, we'll put them in A. Last mount we have to talk about is the Snow Leopard. This thing is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, but what is the difference between this and let's say a Jaguar, like a normal Jaguar? So this Jaguar is a gold star one, so yeah, it's a high-end one, so it should have like a bit better stats. But let's check between them, because unfortunately there's not actually that much difference. So looking at the stats on this one, it has the same fall damage as the other Jag, minus 20%. But the thing with this that is better is its HP. It has 13k HP. It is really, really good compared to this one, which only has 8k HP, being on the higher end because it is a better quality cat with the yellow star, of course. The weight is about the same, 436 on this one, and then looking into this one has 390, so it's a tiny bit better. It definitely has perks like being able to survive the cold biome. Llamas will die pretty quickly in the cold biome, so this tends to be your mount that you need to use around in the cold biome, otherwise you could risk other creatures dying. So it's a necessity there, which makes it good. However, I gotta admit, I wish this guy had a little bit more speciality to him being like the final mount in the game currently. I think they're gonna add more as far as I know, but these two are pretty similar, and if you're just looking for speed, then you might as well go with your bog standard Jaguar instead of going for a Snow Leopard. So this one's not too crazy for me. However, it's still useful, so I'm gonna have to pop it in a C tier. That way, you know, it is what it is. Like, if you want speed or any of the other perks, you might as well go for the Jaguar. And this one, pretty much its use is the snow. If you want to traverse around the snow, this is the one you want to use. But yeah, that's my list today. Let me know what you think about my list, where you would place things on the tier scale, and let me know which mount you would like to see in the future as Soulmask. Since they're adding gliders to the game, I think it would be really cool if we could have some flying creatures as well in the future, since that seems to be a possibility, like maybe flying on a big eagle or something that you could get in the volcano biome, or maybe riding around on a lizard. I don't know, something really cool like that. Or the bison as well. You have the bison going around. That might be a cool mount to have, just as like a big carrier, but with some unique things on it to make it different from the llama. But yeah, since the gliders are coming out and the ability to paraglide around the place, I think it would be really cool to kind of look into flying mounts and see how that goes. I don't know how that's going to work out in Soulmask though. You know, it's pretty crazy that way. But I reckon you could do it. You got the bigger eagles and stuff like that. I reckon you might be able to get a flyer or two here. Whether it be that useful or if it's just for flying, then yeah, it might be pretty cool. But either way, thank you for watching. I love you and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.